bunch of dad sounds.
Why, hello.
Hey there, Sonny. How's it going
Tell
today?
you a story.
Hey there, bud. I'm about to start up this here podcast. Just hoping that it all works out pretty well, you know.
Let's keep this with the podcast.
Oh, God.
Just go into it?
Hey there, bud.
Let's just go into it.
Yeah.
I see you're having microphone troubles there, bud.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about there, buddy boy.
All right, my name is Trajan.
I'm Brandon,
I'm Kevin.
and this is Not Enough Podcast.
Yeah. So
Just can't get enough.
We're back.
we're back.
Yeah, hello.
Oh,
yeah.
Kevin's back.
I'm
Yes!
back from the other side of the world.
How was studying abroad?
Yeah.
That was quite an experience. Like something I wouldn't trade for practically anything.
And what was the organization again?
Oh right, yeah. The organization was IES Abroad. I Indigo E X-ray. Well, fuck, not X-ray.
Elephant?
Elephant. I've been abroad so long I forgot the. See, I can't.
The alphabet?
Yeah, not the alphabet, but you know the
Language?
military. Military. Oh well. Yeah. IES Abroad, and the program was great. I got some money. They recommended scholarships. I mean, it practically cost less to go abroad than to an American college. The college I went to, it was. I can't even explain how happy I was for that.
It's kind of crazy.
It's the coolest. It's so cool that I'm genuinely considering switching schools
yeah.
just so that I can apply for this
That's
program.
exactly what I'm going to do. Like, I probably am going to study abroad.
You should do it.
We're about to get into some old topics and some new topics. You know? A little bit of Last Jedi, because we haven't talked to Kevin about it since he's been gone. And then, talk about some Infinity War, bring that back because, we compare it.
Right. Yeah.
Because me and Kevin have some pretty hefty opinions about Last Jedi.
Yeah, I feel pretty strongly in certain directions.
A little intense. A little
Brandon
bit
is about to get gangbanged.
wrecked.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I am one of those fans that knows every single planet and every single alien on that planet in Star Wars, but Star Wars was like my baby. Whenever I know that I wasn't there to be able to watch the original trilogy in theaters. A lot of us weren't. We're just not that, we're not that old. But it was a part of my childhood. It was something that I grew up with, and all of this kind of leads into The Last Jedi. I'm sure you can kind of put together where I'm going with this.
It's a really bad movie.
Really?
That's what it was. That summary
Really
was just
bad
telling
movie.
us that it was trash. And 30 plus years or so of a franchise would have to be just like pooped on and destroyed.
Well,
Probably
I
the
think-
worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I think what the problem is, I think what y'all's issue with it is more the fact that it just changed kind of what it means to be a Star Wars fan. Because before, Star Wars represented you have to be in the family in order to be able to have these powers. That's for me that the reason that I love this movie so much is because it finally changes that paradigm, and now anyone can be a Jedi. If you guys saw at the end that little boy who had powers, that means that what that represents is
But what you're saying
everyone's having
is,
access to the Force.
see, there's parts in the movie that's pretty cool, but the overarching theme, plot, and actually how it was executed was trash. It was bad.
Right.
There's small things that made sense that was actually good, but in the scope of the actual Star Wars landscape, it made no sense. There was no good payoffs, and everything that happened was stupid. The deaths that happened were stupid. Luke Skywalker never fought on Kylo Ren face to face, and then the whole movie was Kylo Ren being a bitch the whole time, crying.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if he had fought him face to face, what kind of outcome? I mean, I agree with you.
What were we expecting? What kind of outcome were we expecting?
What kind of outcome would have happened if they had fought face to face? I think it would have been bad either way. So I guess the film is all right with that, but I don't think that it should have.
But it would have been cliche. It was either he was gonna die or maybe he would have tricked him and be like, "I'm good now," and then kill him, stab him in the back. But it's some cliche.
Would you be
shit where it's even
satisfied if
Han Solo?
Yeah, would you be satisfied if Luke just chopped down a fledgling Sith, or would you be satisfied if Kylo Ren killed Luke? I don't think either of those situations would have been satisfying at all.
Yeah, that's why I think they had to go in the direction they did.
But I don't think like Luke Skywalker did not have to die. He didn't have to die.
No, he didn't have to.
He didn't technically die, though.
My problem with the film is his entire character, and that bugs me to no end. And everything around the movie just made me that much more angry with it. And I think a lot of the problems I have with The Last Jedi also stem from the fact that there's so much potential in The Force Awakens that was just dropped from The Last Jedi. And I think that had to do with the changing of directors. And they had two very different visions of Star Wars, of where it should go. So whenever you change the directors, they're going to drop the plot points with Rey's parents, change what the Force is like, how it works, change where these characters are going to go, and change like plot points, like Luke leaving a map. In J.J. Abrams' version, he left a map just in case he was ever needed again. Rian Johnson said that, I guess he kind of retconned it, where he said, "Oh, why'd you find me? Oh, there was a map. I never wanted to be found." Well, then why'd you leave a map?
I see the problem with that, but
what's the point of it?
Well, I don't want to be an apologist for this film too much,
Right.
But all right.
No, that's okay.
If we're within the universe of the film, yeah. Well, for me, that's not really so much of an issue as. So I think our split here is between these two directors. I think that's the issue. At the core of this is between these two directors.
Because I'm not a really big fan of J.J. Abrams, and I probably couldn't name I think Rian Johnson only has one film that's actually notable. I don't know what it was.
I don't know what it is either.
And J.J. Abrams has pretty good. He's a good producer and stuff, but I didn't like Force Awakens that much, to be real.
I didn't like it very much either.
So I'm not gonna say that was even a better version of Last Jedi, but it's it just feels like these newer. I'm gonna just say as a whole, these new prequel / new trilogy.
Yeah,
it's not good. I think you can't build on what's great and then be well, we can do it better with the new age stuff. It's just not gonna happen.
My favorite new Star Wars movie, my favorite new one was the third. Episode 3. That was my favorite new Star Wars movie, but I can't even say that is on a level with the original trilogy. There was so much involved with the original trilogy that isn't there with these new Star Wars movies. I feel like the new Star Wars movies, to me, someone explained it on YouTube, and I'm sorry for not remembering who it was, but he said if there are more movies in a series that you hate compared to the ones that you love, then do you really like that series anymore? I don't like these new Star Wars movies. I don't. And there are more new Star Wars movies that I hate than Star Wars movies that I love. And that is what hurts me the most about these new movies, is that it's taking something that I really liked. Disney takes Star Wars, says everything that I liked about it, the expanded universe and all these plot threads that were followed by books and comics and movies and just other series, and saying that they're not canon anymore. Only the original trilogy, our Disney-made TV show, and our new movies are going to be canon.
Which is kind of it kind of writes off all the movies, and it's just I
get that, but that's more of a corporate, that's more of an issue with the corporate aspect of it. I feel like that doesn't so much have it to do with the actual story. If we...
Because it gives you the whole idea.
I mean, it would be fine if the stories were good.
It's like if Disney's going to do this with this, it makes you kind of scared what they're going to do with X-Men or what they're going to do with Deadpool and stuff like that. Because you took something that was simple and that was working, that was good, and building on it and making it great, and then you just throw a bunch of bullshit at it and make it kind of dumbed down, and then here you go. And it's that's what it feels like. It feels everything's just dumbed down. Yes.
How is it dumbed down though?
It's no twists or turns or anything.
There definitely are twists and turns.
I feel like it's complicated, but for bad reasons. Okay, so I guess I'll take my hatred and boil it down to The Last Jedi, the movie itself, because that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the entirety of Star Wars here.
Okay.
I'll go back to The Last Jedi. Like, so they strip everything from Star Wars and say our new movies are good. And now they have this one out. What is there in this movie to like besides cool visuals? For me, personally, I don't see much at all. There's these plot threads that are just dumb. They kill off Snoke, and everybody says that that's subverting expectations. Well, you could make a Titanic movie and have the Titanic not sink at the end, and everybody's just freaking out for nothing, and that's subverting expectations. I don't think it's a good subversion. I don't think that making us wait all this time for the payoff for these new things. What could Rey and Kylo Ren be cooking up there? You see the way that they put it in the trailer. Oh, look, he's extending his hand out. Is she going to turn to the dark side? Is he going to turn to the light side? Not really, no.
And they keep making it seem like he's going to be like, is there a love interest there? Or is it like, are they maybe their family? But it's like, nothing. There's nothing.
No,
it's just like randomly linked.
No, it's not randomly linked. They were linked by their level of power. And I know that's
like,
another problem with it.
But it's like the idea where you say, like, anybody could be a Jedi.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And that's like, that's cool, but it's like, anybody could be on the level as Darth Vader. Like, it's just basically like, that's what, like, it's like, it's just weird.
Anybody can be a Jedi now, but I don't think anybody can defeat a trained Force wielder in combat.
You just go up the ranks like that. Like, anybody, this kid's just gonna be like, I'm the next Luke Skywalker now. Like that's just random. That's just random.
No, but that's a good thing, I think.
No, it's not. It is like, it makes everybody the same thing, and it's just like,
it doesn't mean that everybody is a Jedi. It just means that anybody could be a Jedi.
And they're gonna probably like how the whole group of next people, like next movie, will probably be like a whole like fucking village of Jedi. It's not like this. We didn't know all these random people could be Jedis. Let's train them to have a Jedi Force.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the change back in The Phantom Menace. Everybody gets stirred up on the change in the Force because of the midichlorians.
Right.
Yeah. It was this. The original trilogy had it as almost like a religion. It was something outside of our realm of understanding.
Right.
And then in The Phantom Menace, they say, nope, it's your cells. You have this certain thing living inside you, and the more of it you have, the stronger you're going to be. And now they change it to where, well, the chosen one doesn't matter. Anyone can be the next superpower, which I'm not going to personally say whether it's right or wrong. I think, like, philosophically, it's very interesting. Having anybody could become this power, which if we're talking about it outside of the movies, I think that's
what good. I like so much about this movie. Maybe that's my
anybody can be what they want to be. Yeah, that's a cool message, and I honestly don't have too big of an issue with that. My real issue is with the characters.
Okay, what's wrong? I still don't really understand what people's issue is with Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren was built up to be. I feel the opposite. I feel like he's not developing at all. I feel like they set him up as this whiny little prick that could change and that's gonna grow with Rey as she changes. And in the last movie, he's just gonna be this badass.
That's what I'm saying.
But if he turns out in this last movie, this upcoming movie, to be a badass, I feel it's completely unjustified because I don't see anything in these first two movies that explain his growth to me. He just looks like a whiny prick, and then he turns even more whiny.
I think that's what makes a good villain, personally. Like, that whole, okay, so any good villain has to have this, complex where they, believe that they're doing the right thing, and okay, I'll admit he's whiny, sure, but okay, but he's doing it he's being whiny for something, it's
almost like a that his whining is showing that there's something inside him that wants to become more, that wants to become powerful.
Yeah, like it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't express itself. I agree. It doesn't express itself in the best way. But I am willing to look past that, and maybe I'm reading into it too much, and that's my right because I'm a fan, so I can read into it to whatever level I want to. That's another thing I want to talk about. What fans can do or are allowed to do with art. You know, how much are they willing to take, or how much are they able to take a piece of art and deconstruct it, reconstruct it, and decide the meaning of it for themselves? Like, what is the level of that?
Like how Ryan Johnson tweeted that he said that this is his version of Star Wars. It's his directorial obligation to put whatever his vision into the art.
Right, and then I think my response to that would be, but then so do the fans have the same right to take the art and dissect it and maybe even view it not the way that he wanted it to be viewed. So like, while I agree, while I think that this is a good film and actually a really solid Star Wars film, I disagree with Ryan Johnson and a lot of the corporate decisions. I disagree with the philosophy behind that. Mm-hmm. I think that they're fundamentally wrong on that side, but like I think that the movie turned out fine despite that. I think that's because like I'm conflicted and I feel like I'm like trying to like argue for this and then also agree with you all on this. It's like it's very
you're walking a thin line. You don't want to go to the light or the dark side.
Exactly. I'm like Kylo Ren. Oh no, he's pretty dark now. I guess
here
they try to kill.
I agree. I agree that Star Wars is something that can be manipulated to the director's design. But I feel as though that you manipulate it enough and you're doing a disservice to the fans who have this certain idea. It's like to me, it feels like you're taking a horror movie and deciding to turn it into a comedy. It's to me, it feels like a blatant change. Almost, I wouldn't quite say he's I'm gonna go for it. He's disrespecting the franchise by turning it into something it's not, and by making all the characters act in such a way that they wouldn't, and making the plot so almost like I go back to it, Phantom Menace. You're making the plot bad. You're making the characters bad. You're just disrespecting everything that Star Wars used to be.
Let's go through some of these points.
No, wait. I want to pose a question. So, how do you compare this to Infinity War?
Oh, okay. So,
as another movie, like, because both of these movies are like not like I don't say they're hype, but like they're both are like far into like the future of these universes, right?
Yeah.
So like
they developed a lot.
10 years later after Marvel stuff, and then it's like 30 plus years, basically the height, like max year length.
Right.
So how would you explain like the payoff for each movie, and do you feel like as a consumer or as a fan, do you feel like answers were questioned? That you had like a great overarching theme of the movie? Do you feel like the characters were pretty good? Do you feel like everything that you wanted paid off in Last Jedi more, or in Infinity War?
Infinity War.
Infinity War, hands down.
Damn it! All right, hold on. Let me go back. I'll say it. I'll say Last Jedi. I can't wait.
But why?
Yeah.
So why Infinity War is better?
No, I'm gonna change my answer. I'll say Last Jedi because I can't be the only one, or I have to be the only one who's disagreeing.
I mean, okay.
You gotta play.
So what about
devil's
Last
advocate?
Jedi was a good payoff compared to Infinity War?
Right. So, oh god, this is fucking. All right, screw it. I can do it.
All right, please, yes.
The thing is,
I already have my point.
The themes of The Last Jedi, like I talked about
spoiler
already.
alert for Infinity War if you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are we
Should see it by now.
Before we get really into this, because I'm gonna go hard.
Are we so do we want to say spoiler alert? Do we want to protect the fans of the Marvel franchise and completely disregard the fans of Star Wars? We didn't say.
That's true.
I don't. It's been out for.
I'm just saying. I think that's a telltale sign.
Last
Jedi came out last year.
Ouch. Okay. No.
We're willing to protect Infinity War, but not.
I'm
Anyway, sorry.
The thing about The Last Jedi is that the themes, like I said before, the idea that anybody can be a Jedi, I think that holds up. I think that the character development of Kylo Ren, I think that it actually works because they're pushing him further and further into darkness, right? Like I like that Rian Johnson kind of gives him like he genuinely gave him a way out. Like if he really had the will, if he really wanted to be not a bad person, he would have just worked with Rey. But he made the choice, and I think that's what makes him a villain. And I'm sorry, I'm really arguing for Kylo Ren right now. But I just think he's such a solid villain.
So you're doing Kylo Ren as a villain.
Focus on Thanos then, yeah.
I was just going to pick like a hero that we focus on throughout the years. I'm going to pick Iron Man. So think about starting off with Iron Man. Iron Man as a flawed human being, a billionaire asshole. It's the first time you see him, he's a piece of shit. Some shit happens, changes his personality, and he starts understanding that maybe other people matter other than him. Flash forward like a few years, and you're like, Infinity War, and you're like, we're all cared about Iron Man. We love him. And you just see him go through so much shit in this movie. Have to like defend Spider-Man, have to like take over control of a group and have like butt heads with another person who's like starting off to be like, he started off being an asshole also. And him and like Tony Stark and Doctor Strange are like at different points in their like paths, or like how they both start off as assholes and they're like overcoming and seeing greater stuff. And it's like cool to see like just those three characters dealing with something. And then you like see like Thor deal with like the Guardians of the Galaxy and him like dealing with like maybe I have to deal with more people now. Like Thor starting to get out his like whole entire well-being of just being by himself and being like a god and stuff like that. And seeing his brother die and him dealing with hope, which is kind of interesting how you see all these different characters deal with different like emotions and butting heads and stuff, and like their like overarching goal is to defeat this one guy who's like really intense. And I haven't even gotten to Thanos yet. Thanos is probably the greatest villain, like top 10 greatest villain of all time.
I think it's not fair to compare the number of characters because
there's just a lot of characters.
There's just a lot of characters.
There's a lot of characters in Star Wars.
There's not as many.
I agree. I think like if you like boil all that down, Trey, I think you make a really good point with to me now that I'm looking at it, can we really compare The Last Jedi to Infinity War? Infinity War, which is a movie that has all these characters, but more than that, all these years since 2008, everything building up, and this is the payoff. Everybody, Marvel Studios, working side by side with these directors for this moment. And The Last Jedi is Star Wars is basically a broken project. Is a mess compared to
what if you say,
the Marvel franchise.
Well, you can also like, I'm not trying to argue against Marvel, but you can like also say in Marvel, like Marvel has like probably like 2 or 3 movies that's pretty fucking bad. Like what, maybe 2. You can even say all the Thor movies is pretty bad except for like Ragnarok, and you can probably say like Captain America 1 is alright. Like it's not that
Ant-Man
good.
is.
You can say
okay.
Ant-Man is
Well, you
alright.
can say that these are alright movies, but they're not bad and they don't betray the characters that they're portraying.
I don't think that it betrays the characters though.
These characters are at max height. Like they're like all these.
We'll get back into
that
Last
like,
Jedi character betrayals here in a bit.
After we're done compare with Thanos and Kylo Ren. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, Thanos. He has like it's a villain that everyone likes. It's the villain that like actually has like a motive and a reason that can be justified,
perfectly
good or bad,
as all things should be.
Like he's not like I'm going to go kill people just to kill them. Like he has a justified reason for like I want to kill half of the universe because it would balance off everything and make everything
crazy,
good.
Though.
Because he saw his planet go through that same exact shit and it worked.
Yeah, he's crazy though.
No, I'm saying, but like Kylo Ren, you could say he's crazy, but like he's just stupid. He just whines.
No, he doesn't just whine.
What is his purpose? What does he want? What does he want to like actually like?
He wants to create balance in the universe too. Actually,
no.
Yeah, but he's trying to do it by eliminating the past, eliminating all of the former.
But that's like that doesn't work.
It
doesn't even work.
You could also say
Thanos fulfills and actually does it.
No, it doesn't work.
We don't know if this movie it worked. He won.
There are many videos online that debunk Thanos' theory, but I think that his ideas were better portrayed in Infinity War than The Last Jedi.
I do agree with that.
He actually won, though. That's what the point is. Kylo Ren has never won a battle yet.
Well, but Kylo Ren, in the end of The Last Jedi,
kind of won.
He lost.
He lost the
battle.
Yeah, but he won the
war.
Yeah, like
what a war.
No, like I mean, like there's like a handful of resistance fighters left, and the First Order has essentially taken over the universe.
He didn't do that, though.
The resistance is destroyed.
General Hux
basically
did.
destroyed.
Yeah,
General Hux did all
under
of
his
that.
orders.
And General Hux, like, got, bitch slapped or something at the end?
Yeah, he got
that's
bitch
it.
slapped, yeah.
And Kylo Ren said, I'm just going to take all of this. And this is like, I'm
That's
going
what
to
a
say
real
I
villain
did.
does.
But
like,
in the end,
actually went
with
out and
both
did
movies,
and snapped.
the villains have won so far. Regardless of who the villain is, it's debatable who actually won in The Last Jedi, but the quote-unquote Last Jedi is dead.
But he didn't kill him. He just,
But he didn't kill him, but their goals were met in the end.
I don't even think they thought
the
he
First
died.
Order has eliminated
knows he's
the
dead.
Republic. They've practically eliminated the Resistance, and they had the Resistance. The entirety of that movie was just about this one chase. Like, we need fuel to get away from them. Oh, we'll track them.
Now that kind of pisses me off. Like, cause that's like the most boringest plot of a movie I've ever heard in my life. It's basically just like, we need to get to this point A to point B, but it's not even like. First of all, most movies that's the whole point of a movie is like get to point A to point B. But this movie literally was point A to point B, and the B was to get gas. It wasn't even like
the new road trip movie.
It wasn't like point A to point B to get like from them and like live in a different world or like a different galaxy.
Watch the
get away from them.
lunacy.
It was like point A to point B
Right.
was to refill on gas.
I'm gonna say something.
So the next movie can actually matter. Like, that's basically what it was.
Nah,
Because
I
he even
disagree.
said this movie was a filler. He wanted to do this so he can get to what he wanted to get to, and they canceled all that shit. So this shit makes no sense.
I mean, it won't make sense
Ryan
because
Johnson literally said he wanted to make this movie because he wanted to get to the real shit that he wanted to get to in the next movie.
Right.
And that shit would never be fulfilled.
That's
So
what
it's
I'm
basically
saying.
like,
So-
what's the next movie going to be? A completely undercut of this movie? Like,
Yeah.
this was undercut of now Force
now,
Awakens?
see, that's more of a problem with the corporate thing. See, you're
That's not
getting
a
back to the
corporate thing. That's him.
No,
that's
not.
That's his vision being
it's-
failed. That's J.J. Abrams'
That's not because his vision
being
failed. That's not because his vision failed. That's because they chose to cut out his vision.
The same way
I
J.J.
didn't-
Abrams shit could have been good
Well,
too.
I didn't like Ryan Johnson's vision of The Last Jedi to begin with, because I don't like the way that Luke... His vision of Luke was this cranky old man that as soon as there's a little issue with his nephew, he decides to off him.
No, okay, you're simplifying
That
it
is
too
kinda-
much.
but
I'm
it's
putting a
just
straw
like-
man
no,
out there.
that's not-
He's saying it kind of simply, but it's like it's kind of what happened.
No, it's not.
It's like he said he sensed some little
He's
bit of darkness.
scared. He like okay. Look, think about it like this.
He wasn't
Okay,
even scared.
he had a
He was just
traumatic
like-
event when he was younger, right?
Okay.
His dad, he was okay, young enough where you can still be influenced. In your 20s, you can still be influenced by things.
Right.
So his father is a fucking literal a monster, like genuinely a
But then he saw
cyber
his
monster.
dad become good, and then he was like, "Damn,
Yeah,
maybe evil can become good."
No,
he
but
saw that
if
happen.
it's that easy for evil to become good, then how easy is it for good to become evil?
That's
At that
cool.
point?
That's been
That's what I'm
that's been
saying.
said before,
That's
though.
all I'm saying. Like
That doesn't
that
make the movie
fear-
good, though.
I'm just saying, like that justifies his decision. There.
But he didn't even give
That
him a
he had,
chance,
like,
though. That was the whole Kylo
He
Ren's
did.
point, was saying like he never gave him
I
a
mean,
chance.
I agree, but he
That
made a
made
mistake.
but it made it stupid though. Like he just kind of like
He's a human being. He made a mistake.
No, he was like he never even cared. He never
But
chose.
he turned it off.
He
wasn't
made a
gonna
mistake
actually
that
kill
was
him.
so fundamentally against the mistake. Luke makes mistakes. He makes lots of mistakes.
Because his whole character, he's a flawed character.
He is
Yeah,
flawed.
exactly.
But it's like that was the whole point. Like
The whole
it didn't
point of
change anything.
The Empire Strikes Back was that Luke made a mistake and now everything is ruined.
Right.
But the mistake that he made was so completely in his character that you can't help but
Like,
say,
he would
okay,
never have done that.
my
I think
friends
he
are in
would've.
trouble.
No,
No,
he
Luke,
wouldn't.
you mustn't leave. No, my friends are in danger. I have to help them. That
Okay.
And then you say, but do you think that same Luke, that same character right there,
Would just like
would say,
blindly just
this guy's too
Well,
powerful,
he did,
my own
No, he
nephew.
didn't actually kill them though.
No,
he was
he
thinking
never-
about it.
he was
like he
thinking,
was
yeah.
just thinking about it. He didn't
but
actually
he had it
do
out and everything.
Yes, he had a momentary lapse, like he
But
said.
the guy
in the
saw
movie.
Kylo Ren still saw him do
Yeah,
it. It
he
doesn't
saw
change
it,
anything.
and that's
What
the
you,
problem.
But if you was in that moment, you would still see the same thing. You didn't. Fucking
Yeah,
see
but I'm
him
saying,
put it
but if
back
I
up.
was in Luke's position, I'm saying, like, if I had a momentary lapse where, like, I considered killing someone, please don't fucking lock me up for fucking considering it for a second.
He wasn't gonna get in trouble. It was like his hidden temple that no one knew about.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
So he could have easily just threw it over, and those little baby things could have ate his
But you
traps.
should be locked up if you're standing above like your wife's bedside with a knife out ready to kill her. And you're like,
Okay, so the metaphor doesn't track as well as I hoped it would.
Maybe I
Okay, but it's not even attempted murder, you know? It's like, you could probably, like, get a They could probably get a state.
There's no justifying court in this galaxy. We never even seen one.
There was a justifying court, and it was blown up in the Force Awakens.
That is true. The whole government was gone.
Everything blown up, and I'm just like, wait a minute.
So he could have got rid of it. He could have got it. He could have did it.
Everything that controlled the entire galaxy, these hundreds of planets, was all in those 5 planets that they decided to blow up, and now there's nothing of the rebellion or the New Republic. Everything now how is the First Order in control of everything? Why do all the galaxies decide that they're going to bow down to the First Order after their entire planet-sized Death Star is destroyed? How are they going to say, okay, you know what, we're just going to... These guys are still too strong.
Because they still have a huge military.
How? Everything that they had is... In the original trilogy, the Empire was no more. Sure, they had all these tons of fleets maybe still outside, but they lost everything.
They lost their main. All they lost was their main, leader.
Right, and they didn't have enough power to stop the rebellion from becoming the New Republic. Why wouldn't they have stopped them at any point in that time?
Well, I haven't read the book. I just read the summary of the book. All I know is that there's a filling book, like a fill-in book.
They're the filling books. But if you rely on books to a book, I shouldn't have to read outside material to say that a movie is good. The books that they had that Disney decides is canon to make this whole plot work. We shouldn't have that. Yeah, I shouldn't have to read that before I read the new Star Wars. And I'm pretty sure that all of that is just covering up all their problems. Like, oh yeah, these movies are bad, but you didn't read the book. That's why.
If you wanted to read it, you can read it. But it's like these movies are just sci-fi movies. Y'all just trying to make it into like your whole universe because y'all Disney now.
Actually, Star Wars isn't like Star Wars fundamentally isn't a sci-fi movie. It's a drama. It's whenever people say it's a space opera.
People say like Shakespeare kind of.
Yeah, it is kind of.
But it's like we don't need comic books and like books for us to like. If you don't read it, then you're not in the know.
Which is why I like the Infinity War, because they have all these movies out, and I don't need to have read any of the comics. They cater it towards new people. Like,
but that's still homework, though.
No, it's not.
It is homework.
It's the same way watching Star Wars movies. You already know it if you watch the Lex movie.
I'm just saying,
your same argument is going back with your.
No, I think your argument isn't working as well as like
watching the movies.
Yeah, like I'm saying, there's homework for both of them. If you're like, okay, quote unquote true fan or whatever, like you do have to watch.
Oh, I don't want to hear true fan anymore.
No, I know. I'm just saying that because like, yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying you have to do homework for both of them.
You're not doing any homework if you watch the movies. The same way you're just watching movies. It's not homework.
It is homework if you don't want to watch it.
Stop saying you're not.
I think there's a difference between wanting to read the Infinity War, the Infinity Gauntlet comics, and saying, okay, there's stuff behind all these movies. This is very interesting. And there's a difference between that and saying, I read these Star Wars movies. I watched these Star Wars movies and I think they're bad. Oh, well, you didn't read the books. You didn't.
That's not even the reason that this works. I'm saying that's completely different from what I was saying about why it works. I was just
okay. So why do you think the Last Jedi works? We've been bashing it all this time.
It's the Kylo Ren thing.
Yeah, Kylo Ren.
And then the thing. What else makes it a good
But in total, like,
I think the Luke Skywalker thing works well.
Overall, like, you think the Luke Skywalker...
It works for me, at least.
Which part?
I just like the idea that this legend is fallible. I like that. I really like that idea, and I just... Maybe that's what I'm hinging my whole argument on, is that I like ideas of things. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. That's a good criticism of me, but
I like ideas of things. What does that even mean?
No, I like the idea of something more than I like the actual execution.
I don't think you really like this movie. I think you like that, like, it's like you watching like Infinity War, and it's like I think the reason why I like Infinity War is just the fact that like there's like a sense of like this shit can like they can just die. And, like, it just be justified. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these characters that we watched for 10 years, and, like... half of them are just dead, and like they could just like Disney could just be like, they're not coming back, and they just could. They wanted to.
That actually, I think that kind of all my feelings can be summarized similarly, where I feel the Infinity War earned what's happened. I don't feel that The Last Jedi did. I don't feel that the plot threads, the points, what happened, Luke's change, and
I don't think
these
Force
things. I don't
Awakens
think
was
that
like
they
a strong
earned it.
enough
Yeah.
movie for this movie to be even justifiable.
So what makes Infinity War work? What makes Infinity War justified?
Okay, so this is now where we see Happy Cow.
Great movie.
The great movie, amazing movie.
Seen it 5 times in theaters.
One of my favorite
It's probably
superhero movies. Probably not above The Dark Knight.
It's not. Or
It's
Dark Knight
not.
Rises. But it's like, people will argue that, but fuck y'all.
Infinity War, I
To
feel
be
like
honest,
it works
fuck 'em.
because
That's Spider-Man one.
every plot point, every thread that we saw was completely in character of our cast. And it really wasn't a superhero movie like a lot of people have been saying. It was more of a Thanos movie. It was showing what he had to contribute to the Marvel franchise. And
It was the best payoff of like
we've been watching all these
9
movies
years
hoping
of
that
show them on the screen the first time.
that Thanos better be good. We've had these lackluster villains, and they've just kind of ended their arcs.
I remember when like Iron Man came out when I was in middle school, like 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like I was like, man, I watched that movie like 10 times with my grandma. It was always on FX and everything. I used to love it.
Yeah.
So like I was like, man, I love all this shit. So I invested into it. And I watched all the end credits and everything with my dad and everything. And it was like that Thanos shit. And I was like, oh man, this shit's crazy. That's when they had Avengers Mightiest Heroes on like XD. That show was amazing. They kept talking about like the Thanos thing. They kept bringing in everything like Cosmic Rescue and shit. Like basically, like, they showed like they spoiled like the whole entire Marvel universe.
They did,
and that's why they got the show canceled because it was like, Disney was like, whoa, y'all actually shown like endings to movies that we haven't even made yet. It was crazy. So like that show was like really spoiling everything. So like they hyped up Thanos for like Thanos about to be like the next villain and everything. And years go by, more and more great movies building on like you actually
And
care
then there
for
was
Captain
Avengers
America.
2, and you're just like, eh.
You care for like all these characters: Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye. Sometimes Hawkeye's kind of trash. Black Panther, people care about him now. And we just met him like 2-3 months before this Avengers came out. People care about him when he died, like shit like that. And it's just like,
Oh yeah, I
when you
have
just-
theories.
it's just such a good
Yeah.
franchise. That's like, it's great. Like you actually care about these individuals, and it's like when this movie happened, and you see them going to different groups, and like they actually like interchange with people, and you're like, oh man, this is a really good banner, and it's like, it's a really good movie, and you like the theme of like how like a villain who actually has like an actual like a plan that actually like could be like. It can happen. Like it's not like far fetched or whatever. Like he starts off with 2 stones. Like it's not like, oh shit, like he has to find the stones the entire time. Like halfway through the movie, he finds like all the stones, and like he only needs like 1 more at the end of the movie. And you're like, this shit can happen. And then like it happens. He actually wins, and then like it kills like half of the universe, and you watch them die. It's like the most cruciating pain feeling ever of watching. Like you see people's reaction to theaters, crying. Emotions, people storming out mad. It's like not even mad because the movie's bad, just mad because that shit just happened. And then like after the credits scene, it's just like it's nothing. It's like it's just Thanos will return. It's like it's not even the Avengers will return. It's like Thanos will return. It's like fuck. We don't even know who's going to even return. They can't even say the Avengers because half of the Avengers is dead. It's like
my thing
that was
with
getting into.
it's so
I like that.
good.
that was me with the Infinity War. I guess I'll explain why it's great by comparing and contrasting it to The Last Jedi. Like with Snoke versus Thanos, Snoke wants what? Does he want the Sith to be strong? Does he want balance? The Empire, the First Order wants balance, just like Thanos. But what happens in Star Wars if there's no balance? In these movies, they have not explained to me why things are unbalanced right now and what the First Order wants to do about it. What the problem will be if it's not unbalanced, if it's not in balance. Thanos, he has a clear goal. He wants to balance the universe because he saw his planet get wiped out because they didn't follow his ideas. He's a man on a mission who he has a plan to bring the most mercy and justice to the world. And people don't like it. They're not going to like it. They're not going to understand it. But he is the kind of character that is willing to push the button when everyone else isn't. He's willing to make that choice for the universe, regardless of how the universe feels. Because he's not going to wait for the universe to eat itself, become overpopulated, and die like his planet, and wait for them to come crawling back to his feet and say, I'm sorry, you were right. And him say, I told you so. He's willing to act and sacrifice everything that he loves before it gets to that point, because he knows that he's the only one with the will to do it. He knows that he's willing to destroy everything that he loves and sacrifice everything because he truly believes, because he is literally insane, that everything is worth balancing the universe. He's the mad titan. He is completely insane. His plan is madness and genocide, but he knows that. He justifies it by saying, you call it genocide, I call it justice. Then we have the main characters of The Last Jedi compared to the main characters of the Avengers. How many of those characters, if besides describing them, comparing them to the other trilogy characters, how much of them are really in depth? Can you really understand their motives and what they're doing? What does Daisy Ridley's character, what does Rey want? She wants a place in the universe. Okay.
Well, don't we all want that?
And Luke gives it to her, and then she's like,
no, he doesn't.
Like, plays.
But she's just doing things for good. That's
like it.
In the Avengers Infinity War, everybody knows that everything that they have is at stake at this moment. They know that if they don't win, Thanos is going to kill off half of the population, and there's nothing about about a good versus evil in there. They know that everybody that they know and love will probably be massacred if they fail. In The Last Jedi, that's not explained. Like, you can maybe think that since they built a planet-killing weapon, they have, or are willing to wipe out planets, that they are going to be bad. We don't know what the First Order will be like once they're in control. We haven't seen that. Nobody has explained to us what the First Order is going to be like. What if they have good healthcare?
All right, so I'm realizing now that
I like how that was like how he ends it. And what if they have good healthcare?
okay,
Back then, just leading up to healthcare. It's like this. No, it's sponsored. We have a sponsor by healthcare.
First order healthcare.
First order healthcare, because you come first.
Oh, that was so cheesy. Shit.
But what were you saying?
I'm realizing that there is another split between these two movies, like fundamentally. Okay, so. All right, two things. Franchise-wise, Marvel has a better franchise. Without a doubt, they have a better franchise. They've done a better job.
I mean, people will argue.
Yeah, but I think
like, people will kill us in the comments and be like,
they can say what they want.
Star Wars is life. Murder you and your family. Kill yourself. Like,
come on.
In my opinion, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I'll say like on a spectrum 1 to 10, 10 is being like insanely just like Star Wars is life, and 1 is like not caring. I'll say I'm about like a 4-ish. Like, I care about the movies, and I think they're good movies, but I'm like, I don't saturate it in my life where like I care that much about Star Wars.
I've gotten to the point where I'm like a 2 at this point.
Yeah,
jeez.
I mean, when I was a kid, I used to be like a 5 or 6. Like, I used to care. Like, I used to go to the movie. Like, it was a good movie, man. Like,
I used to be a Star Wars nerd. Like, I had all the Star Wars little action figures and Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 for the computer. Yeah,
nice.
The original Battlefront games. Oh man! And then they said that all of it was just not necessary. But what were you saying with the other split?
So the split between the Star Wars universe The Last Jedi and Infinity War is, I think Star Wars is more they have philosophical stakes. Mm-hmm. So like the idea of peace and justice and the balance between good and evil. That's the idea there. And then Infinity War is between balance of literal like lives. And so like the stakes are people's actual lives. Yeah. And I think that's what makes possibly makes the last or Star Wars Infinity War the better film because it has higher stakes and it had because the stakes are people's actual lives.
That's why I believe that
I think
Marvel, well, in the Marvel universe, in like a whole, is just way better than Star Wars. Just because like I've always loved like comic books when I was a kid, but like since like these movies started, like I feel like it's an obligation for me to go to any of them, even if I don't like have like the highest hopes for. Like even Ant-Man 2, I was like, but like I feel like I had to go to it just so I can be in the know, you know? Like I feel like those movies just like you can feel like it's a universe. Like it doesn't feel like it feels like it's like a long running TV show that you go to the movies and you have to see every episode and you just have to be like, man, like what happens next? Like even if it's like a bottle episode here and there, you're just like, this is still a good TV show. It's not an overarching plot. It's like it's not even Thanos is the plot. It feels like Thanos was like the whole overarching thing for like one season or 2 seasons, 2-3 seasons, and they were just like, we're finally got to the season finale. And it's like really good, and then like next one is like the picking up, and it's just like a 2-parter season finale, and you're like, oh man, it's episode 4, whatever is gonna be good, like Adventures 4. And, like it just feels like you can tell like they know what they're doing.
It is interesting that Star Wars has episodes, but it doesn't feel like a TV series.
It just
and
feels
Marvel
like
feels like a TV series.
Yeah,
to me.
It feels like it's continuing like
weird.
Star Wars, but it never feels like it's like cohesive,
And-
you know?
Yeah, and on your points about the differences, the theoretical balance in Star Wars versus the literal lives at stake in the Avengers, I feel as though I think that's the thing with the original trilogy and Star Wars as a whole is that it never really focused on balance. There was never it was always throwaway lines like the chosen one will bring balance to the Force. But we were never actually supposed to care about that. The main focus of Star Wars was Luke trying to save his. Well, he didn't know she was his sister at that point, but trying to save Leia, and then
like,
being the hero and saving his dad.
Right.
And that was it. That was what we were supposed to focus on. And then overall, his personal struggle will lead to the redemption of the Force and balance.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think the reason why I like Star Wars when I was a kid, just because, well, like when I thought about it, it's kind of like a really deep thing. It's like the idea of like you growing up as somebody, like you trying to like set your own path, but you're like your dad or like your mom or whoever has like their own like platform or whatever, and it's like the idea of like him not wanting to like just become that and wanting to be his own thing. And I think like everybody can relate with that. Like when we're working on our show and stuff like that,
Which,
we like the idea of like not growing up as like you have to be this and you have to do this and you have to follow my footsteps. We're like I want to start my own path and like do my own shit.
actually, I think that's something that is reflected in Kylo Ren, and that's something that I really did like from his character, is that if you look at his character, that is what these directors have set up. He's trying to be his own person, and at first he's just trying to follow in the footsteps of his grandfather, but at the end of the day, he's killing Han, he's trying to kill Leia, and he takes off his mask and he breaks it, and it's showing that he is trying to break away from what other people are trying to turn him into, which is a fundamental. That is something that I like.
I used to love that, but then like even in Force Awakens, like it was good sometimes, but at the same time it was like, And then Last Jedi, he just like scrapped that. We're gonna like deal with a little bit of him like having some like mom troubles because like maybe he wants to like nail the coffin and like just like basically like kill both of them and just get that out of his mind. But it's like it doesn't really pay off. It just makes it more like him just being whiny. And then like for some reason like right when he did it, we didn't even talk about this that she's a Jedi apparently now, and that like just on some godly form where like she basically can't die now. And it's like why do they keep making her like her character keep like living? It's like she's not even alive anymore. Like sorry, like
maybe,
RIP, but it's like
she had like
kind of
some
weird
film thing. Maybe she had a little bit of film that was made before her death for Episode 9, and they decided to keep that like that because.
But then they keep keeping her.
But
though.
I feel like there's a lot there in the movie. Some interesting substances. I just feel like it was poorly executed.
Maybe that's the issue. execution. I can agree with you there. That the
And that's-
execution, because I love what they tried to do. Maybe that's.
Right.
I think that's maybe what I'm arguing for.
And I think that might be the main
it's what
difference.
you want to happen. It's what you like. You in your mind, you like, oh man, y'all had so many good ideas.
That's-
It's like, none
it's
of it
like
was
with-
like it was just
Yeah.
none of it happened.
It's like with Batman v Superman versus Captain
I
America
also
Civil
love
War.
that
It
movie.
sounds better
The
on
Last
paper.
Jedi
Yeah.
versus
Oh,
Infinity
shit.
War. It's all
Sounds
about
better on paper.
execution versus intent.
Maybe execution does matter more than
It
intent.
does. Because some themes can be good. And like you can say what there's good themes in the room, but it's not a good movie.
No, it's not. It's,
Like you can say it's good themes, and good plots, and good character moments, but you can't say it's a good movie. Like you can't say you keep saying Last Jedi is like a really good movie, but it's not. Like it's so heavily flawed, and so many character things that doesn't like need to happen, and like plots that like really never are fulfilled, and like it's not a good movie.
Like
It's
with
really not.
Batman v Superman, where there's all that philosophicalness thrown
The
at you.
religious
Wasn't-
shit.
and it wasn't necessary. They just wanted to be
God
more.
is dead, or Superman is God, and
It's like why? It's like
Man
it's
can kill
masturbating.
God.
It's just like exactly. It's like Snack Cider in a room.
where are
just
you
posting
going
man
with
just-
this?
ah.
hit us over the hammer with Superman is God. When he flies down to save us, he's going out in like the
He
Jesus
looks
pose.
terrifying.
he was genuinely terrifying. I agree.
All you see is like a figure with just a black
Execution
his
is
front, and it just
key.
looks terrifying.
He's just frowning.
Oh yeah, Henry
Oh, yeah,
Cavill. Yeah, they
I feel
got
like we're going off subject a little bit, but Brandon, I think you finally agree that Henry Cavill is not a good Superman. Can you just please say it one time for like everybody? Just
Oh,
say
that's
it.
a whole
I love
movie.
what they're trying
Just
to
a
do,
whole
though.
podcast
I
to
love
say
what
it.
they're trying to do, though.
Who
It's-
is they?
No, I love
The
it.
people that's just shit. on
Wait, who's
Superman,
Zack
like,
Zack
Snyder.
Yeah, what Zack Snyder's trying to do with Superman. I love what
I
he's
don't
trying
like
to do.
anything he's doing with any of the DC movies.
No,
Oh,
not at all.
I hate it. If anything,
Do
it's
you
so,
bleed?
it's so bad.
Alright.
He's the worst Batman in my opinion. I'm tired of everybody keeps saying he's the best Batman ever. I'm sick of it.
I don't think he's the worst. I don't think he's the best, though.
I think he's one of the worst.
Martha, why did you say that
He's not
name?
even top 3. He's top 3.
Yes. There hasn't been that
It's
many.
been like 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's
He's
not that many.
He's like 5.
He's definitely not 5.
It goes.
I don't think
Christian
Sup-
Bale.
Okay,
course.
this is a whole.
It
We're
goes-
getting off
it goes
topic
Kevin
here.
Conroy.
Wait,
I
Kevin
can't get
Conroy.
into
It's the
Superman.
voice actor of Batman from all the
Yeah, okay.
animes.
Agreed.
And then it goes on Adam West.
No.
Or Michael Keaton. It's like flip flop.
No, I think
Oh
for
yeah,
me,
and
Ben
there's the
Affleck's
other
there.
guy.
Ben
And then
Affleck
it's-
is in your list
and then
of
it's
top
first 3,
Batman?
yeah.
And then it's faceless over here. I fucking hate. What's his name? George Clooney. Fucking hate him as a human being.
Yeah.
And
My
it's the other
my
guy.
bat card. Never
Oh,
leave the
he's
cave
a
Val
without it.
Kilmer was fucking Batman. There's
Damn
another, and he's better than George Clooney, and almost better than Ben Affleck because he actually tried.
He did try.
Yeah,
He tried real hard.
Ben
Oh,
Affleck
but-
doesn't try. He just gets beefy and then like looks like the Batman. He doesn't even act like the Batman or Bruce Wayne.
Superman and Batman is, I think, a whole subject for another.
Yeah, we really have gone off
podcast.
onto
I
the
think
whole.
I
If, that,
people
if
like-
that's something
I'll
that
say one
they-
more thing. I think
listeners
people
want
like
to
Ben Affleck.
hear, then we can definitely talk all day about our Batman and Superman
I think
picks.
people like Batfleck just because he looks like Batman.
He does look like.
But
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
think he
All right.
acts like it or looks like Ben Affleck. I mean,
Okay.
it looks like Bruce Wayne. That shit pisses me off.
All right. So
In conclusion of this,
yeah,
entire
let's
argument,
have our last like points. You know, let's say our last things. Like what we
Alright.
took away from this.
I took away that I'm starting to see some, I guess, valid reasons why The Last Jedi is a decent film.
Not the worst.
It's not the worst thing ever.
the
That's
worst
all.
thing ever.
That's
It's
what
not
I'm
the-
saying.
It's not
now.
the worst Star Wars movie.
It's not the worst
Okay,
Star
but
Wars.
it's one of the
That
worst
seat is
movies.
reserved for Episode 2. Okay, that is.
Okay, yeah, agreed.
What is that?
The slowest movie I've ever fucking
Which one is
seen.
that?
Attack of the Clones.
I hate sand. It's
See,
rough
that's shitty,
and
but
gross.
Clone Wars is
Whoa,
good.
Gets everywhere.
But hold up. They had General Grievous in that shit.
No,
shit
that was
good.
Episode 3. That was.
Oh, they didn't have,
Yeah,
I thought he was in Clone Wars.
He was. He had
Yeah,
like,
the clone Attack of the Clones, the second movie. It was the one with Count Dooku. It was the one where Padme was almost assassinated. They
General Grievous was in that one.
no,
Which one was he in? Then?
he was in
was the third
Revenge
one?
of the Sith, the third one. Whenever
That's
Anakin
we can
turns.
all agree that that's a solid film, right?
That is a solid
like, even
film.
though
It
people
is
have
a
shit
solid
over
film.
it for years.
even though there's unlimited power.
yeah, that's a ridiculous fucking scene.
No.
Damn it!
Phantom Menace. I like Phantom Menace. Y'all can shit on me, whatever, but I think it's a good movie. Come
Oh
on.
man.
But anyway, I
Let's
think
not
that
take
The
like
Last
the best villain in
Jedi
this whole
is not
franchise.
terrible. It's not a terrible film. I still feel like it betrays everything that I believe Star Wars was, but maybe that's just Rian Johnson's view. Maybe that's just what he got out of Star Wars, and I can't fault a guy for that. What I can fault a guy for is that whole animal rights plot that was completely out of nowhere.
I agree completely.
But
Well,
yes, I think there's a big difference between intention and execution, and Infinity War did it a hell of a lot better in execution than The Last Jedi, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But that's just like my opinion, bro.
I'll probably say Infinity War is clearly the better movie. Just clearly is. But then Last Jedi, as I would say, is a pretty bad movie. It was a few shots I like the cinematography was pretty good. You know, like some like looks of it looked pretty good, but it's like it was kind of I haven't went back to it. I'll probably watched like once and that's it. Like, I wouldn't say it's a good Star Wars movie. I would say it's like a pretty decent alright movie. If you just came into Star Wars, you really didn't care. You just like walked into it and be like, oh, it's a pretty decent movie. But if you actually like know that like the history and shit, none of the shit pays off at all, and the plot's kind of stupid.
So, wait, are you good? All right. So I think I respect both of your points, and I think that I'm not completely flipped, but I do understand finally that it is in fact more important to execute well than have a good intent and have a good idea. Because there's so much salvageable from this film. I just think there's so many interesting ideas that I just want to talk about, and that's really what I like about film.
To fruition.
Maybe we could give you your own little
Last Jedi podcast.
Last Jedi.
Oh no!
Last
I
Jedi.
couldn't talk about just Last Jedi. No. That's actual hell. That's what hell is.
No, you like Last
No,
Jedi.
I do, but not that much. Jesus Christ. No, but I actually do understand what's wrong with this film. Finally, like I really do understand that like it was poorly executed. It was.
Well, you don't. And I'm not trying to like beat you with a book on it. You have valid points on your own. I think that's fine. I think we can agree to disagree on this. Each person gets something different out of a movie.
I still am going to watch this movie again probably and enjoy it. Like there are parts that I'm going to skip.
Yeah, I tried watching it on Netflix and it got to the bombers at the very beginning and I'm just like, okay, I can't watch this anymore.
Really?
Yes.
I bought that movie. I own Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
I would never own it. I just bought The Prestige. A phenomenal movie. Let's compare that movie one day.
I don't think that's a good idea. Well,
I will actually destroy you.
And
you're a piece of shit.
I kill for fun. Oh yeah, let's talk about some other shit that's coming up.
Oh yeah,
Talk about the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Kevin's he's a host now.
Yeah, he's a regular.
He's back.
yeah. If you don't like me, then I'm sorry. This isn't the podcast for you.
got real depressing for a second.
Jeez.
No, just kidding. I love you all, and I'm really glad to be here. This is.
It's been in the making for a while.
Yeah, it really has. And while I was away, I was just thinking about all the things. Man, I wish I had connection. I could talk to them and do a podcast on this. Man, I could go on and on about being away, but I'm glad to be here.
We're glad to have you back, man.
Also, was we bringing on a new fourth host, but they couldn't make it today, but we will have them on the podcast. We're not going to tell them who it is yet. We'll let them introduce themselves when they come on, but we actually have season 3 is about to be crazy.
This is about to be it, guys.
Season 3 is about to be the one.
This is gonna be the best season in the history of seasons. I swear, I know podcasts. Nobody knows them like I do. Okay.
Okay, Donald. Okay.
I don't know where you came from.
Yeah, you
Walked
walked out
Walked out my closet.
What do you have Donald Trump in your closet?
You don't have Donald Trump in your closet?
Is it like fucking Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
I have Lionel Richie in there. I have
this
also
isn't
have, Jay
this
Leno
isn't
in
the
there.
Pound. I was going to go see Omarosa. I was going to go see that dog. I'm sorry, my bad. I need to.
Holy shit.
I got that third girl from the Bad Girls Club from season 2 in my closet. I got everybody in my
I don't
closet.
even know her name.
I I got The Rock in my third bottom shelf. Yeah, I got everybody. Michelle Obama under my bed.
She fit there. What? Oh no.
But what? But what else we got going up?
Well, we're gonna have a new episode of Killing the Noise because that's back.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing it back, guys. I got I'm probably gonna have Kevin on as one of my co-hosts as a guest host. I will get I'm gonna have like different guest hosts and bring that back. Killing Noise season 2 will continue season. We just tried it for 2 episodes and I liked it. So
yeah,
first season has been a go. We're gonna do this now.
Killing the Noise.
Killing the Noise is gonna probably be every Sunday or maybe every Friday. Depends on when we release it, but one of those days is probably when we release it.
Well, yeah, you'll see it
Either the beginning of the week or the end of the week. Either way, you're gonna get Killing the Noise probably every week or every other week.
And also, my series of talking about social issues, that's gonna be coming back. And also, Kevin's gonna be on there probably for some of them, and
Yes,
fellow
that's right.
podcaster will be on there for some of them as well.
And also, Kevin might be getting his own episode
Yeah.
here and there.
Whoa.
Whatever he wants to do, he hasn't told us what he wanted to do yet. But
Oh my god.
maybe in
This
the comments
is-
pitch some episode.
Yeah, we
ideas.
just threw this on him right now.
Yeah, he didn't know what
I didn't know about this. I'm so happy.
So we'll probably talk about that. And he probably hear from Kevin a little bit on his maybe he might get a show, whatever he wants to talk about. But yeah, listen to Killing the Noise and what's your thing gonna be called?
Oh.
You came up with a name.
I have not. I don't want to steal Late Night Earbites because I really don't want to steal.
Oh yeah, Late Night Earbites is gonna be coming back.
Yeah.
We're gonna actually bring that back. We actually can do it now since we got my own place now, so we actually can chill and just talk about whatever we want to talk about, social issues.
Yeah, there's not going to be a name for this one because this is just our general
Oh yeah, this is just we just felt like discussing this because we have
Pop Discourse. Can this be Pop Discourse? Because I've wanted to do
Sure.
Pop Discourse for a while.
Yeah, Pop Discourse. We're just gonna do we just might pick a new movie or just 2 random movies that we like and just
Or TV shows.
talk about it.
Or whatever.
Or random movies that we don't like.
Yeah, we might.
Which is worse. That's
Which is
fun.
worse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We're definitely gonna start doing that now.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but yeah. So comment, subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do with this.
And
If you listen on our website, make sure you look at our newsletter, subscribe to the newsletter, anything. And if you're on the app, podcast app, just rate, subscribe, comment.
if you're on YouTube, please comment. We want to hear your thoughts about Last Jedi.
And
yeah.
let us know, and through our Twitter, which is Not Enough Media, and our Instagram, Not Enough Media. Let us know if y'all are up to actually watch us on a live Twitch stream every Sunday.
Yeah, that's right.
We're thinking about doing it, but we just want to know if y'all gonna listen to it or not.
Yeah, just let us know if you're gonna listen if you just can't get enough.
So we can just.
Fucking perfect.
That was perfect, though.
Damn it.
So we can get hear y'all opinions and stuff, live opinions on how y'all feel about the show.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. I've been Brandon.
I'm Kevin.
And I've been Trajan.
This is Not Enough Podcast. Bye.